Hello and welcome. Today we are in the tier 10 Japanese heavy cruiser, the Zao. We're playing the aircraft carrier test on the test server, and I wanted to show you guys what it looks like from the cruiser's perspective. Now this is the initial version of the test. It is a little bit better for the CV, which we can see enemy planes right there. They are within 7 kilometers, so I use my defensive fire. This activates my anti-air range to 7 kilometers. And improves my automatic anti-air to 50%. I did it so that if Midway actually starts an attack run, he will be immediately blinded, because your defensive fire has to be up before the enemies enter your anti-air. When they do that, they get blinded. But Midway went somewhere else. However, the second Midway is starting an attack run and he got immediately blinded. He cannot see any ships that aren't surface spotted by his team. That's why he is attacking water, because he is just trying his luck. He's hoping that he will maybe get a hit. I also launched a fighter, but it was a little unnecessary. I did it in case that he decides to continue flying with his planes, then the fighters will lock on and shoot down a whole bunch of them. Man, how do people play with this crosshair? It adds so much visual noise to aiming. I actually can't see what the Zao is doing. Seriously, how do you guys play with this crosshair? It seems a lot harder. Now this match was played before the changes on the test server, so for example, defensive fire still grants me 20% more anti-air damage. It won't do that anymore on the current test, but honestly 20% shouldn't really make that big of a difference. I think a much bigger change is that the drops will feel far more fluid on the test server now, because you don't have to quite wait as long. They basically played with the timers on how long you have to be in the like when you switch from travel mode into the attack mode, how long it actually takes for the two-step process to activate. They reduced that timer and it felt a lot better when I played CVs. Now of course most of this actual match will be just surface ship fighting, because that's really what World of Warships is about, right? CVs are just one component of it. And since we actually have surface ships to fight, unlike most test matches that I played, that's what we're mostly going to do. I'm gonna try to use Zao torpedoes on this grosse Koffest and just kinda hope for the best. I am being a little cheeky, mostly because I was so used to the test server environment that I could just YOLO in and do whatever I want, that I forgot that battleships kinda, counter cruisers a little bit, okay? So I'm gonna just start pulling back, so I don't 1 versus 1, well, I suppose I have some help, but I don't want to be within spotting radius of a battleship like a GK. But as you can see, the aircraft carriers basically left us alone. And I think it makes a lot of sense, because if you get blinded, you literally can't really play the game. And when that's the case, honestly you kinda wanna drop somewhere else. Because if the CV came back again, well, right now it wouldn't work, right? Because the grosse Koffest would be spotting all of us. But if the grosse Koffest is gonna die, well, it looks like he's gonna die very soon, then the CVs attacking us would be in a lot of trouble, because I just blind them with defensive fire again. Cruisers are really strong in the test against CVs, in my opinion. The blind effect is just crazy good. He is firing at me. Can't believe it. But it's not really gonna help him too much. Wait. Oh, come on! I can't believe our GK actually decided to ram. Oh well, I guess that means there's more damage to farm for us. In the last video I actually did kind of forget one thing. I forgot to mention what my current concerns with the test are. So I'll go over them now. And basically I have 4 main complaints. One is that anti-air doesn't really feel impactful. It's more effective because you can shoot down planes as they're actually doing the attack run, meaning that the actual strike is going to be weaker. On top of that, your automatic anti-air will slowly build up the bar if you keep getting attacked over and over again, meaning that eventually your automatic anti-air is going to be much stronger, your manual anti-air is going to be stronger. So from a gameplay perspective, anti-air is more effective, and CVs themselves are also less effective. They can't spot as well anymore, and their attack runs actually consist of a 2-step process. But even with all of that, anti-air doesn't feel more effective, and that's because you're only ever being attacked by like 3 planes. So even if your anti-air is infinitely strong, at the very most you will shoot down 3 planes. You're getting 3 plane shot down ribbons. And maybe if the game was basically new, where people didn't have expectations about CVs, then maybe that would be fine. But right now I feel like players have an expectation that if a CV attacks them multiple times over and over, that they're gonna shoot down something like 20, 30, 40 planes in a match. Especially if they spec into anti-air focused skills. But with this current system, that's not really gonna happen, right? Nobody's gonna keep flying their 3-plane strike squadrons that constantly get wiped out into you 13 times in a row. Or 20 times in a row if you shoot down 2 of them. Even if you only shoot down 1 of them, it will probably make the CV be a little apprehensive at attacking you with their planes. And so it won't feel great. It'll feel like the anti-air doesn't really do anything because you're not getting to really use it. Not to mention that defensive fire being useless when you're surface spotted just kinda feels bad because, well, you have to usually give up hydro to actually take defensive fire. And then there's also the problem that if there's no CV in the match, then taking defensive fire and being an anti-air spec is completely wasted. And that's just another thing that just won't feel great. Now for the first problem, my recommendation would be to do something like increase the size of attacking squadrons. Make it like 9 or 12 planes attacking at once, so you have these ginormous squadrons that are actually attacking of like 30 or 40 planes, and then you attack, and then the attack run contains like 10 planes. It does the same total damage, or maybe a little bit more than right now, but you will see more planes shot down, because when I played the Jacksonville, the thing that felt amazing to me about Jacksonville's anti-air is when the FDR came to strike me, and I just wiped out his entire squadron. I saw 12 planes just falling out of the sky at the same time. That's what I want to feel. Also, look at the match right now. So basically their Worcester and their Zao just walked up to our CVs and, well, just sank them. And there just wasn't much the CVs could do. Okay, Worcester, sorry buddy, but you're gonna have to leave this match. Okay? We need to win this one. Why is he firing AP? He really should be firing HE, but honestly it doesn't... Never mind. I wanted to say it doesn't really matter because, well, he might have a lot more damage output. I had so much more HP that it shouldn't have made a difference. But hey, Yamato kinda settled that for us. So the CVs are gonna keep striking the Yamato. I think they're gonna be able to sink him. He is down pretty low, but luckily their Zao is pretty low as well. So really all we have to do is sink this guy, and I think then the game is in the bag. Because right now at least I'm healthy enough that I don't think the CVs can really do enough damage to me to sink me. Especially because if you look at the minimap, the CVs are on the C cap. Which actually is kind of smart, because remember, the enemy actually broke through from that direction, right? They had multiple ships. They had a Worcester there, they had a Zao there. So that would be one of the safest places to be, because we did break through also from the other side. Yeah, our Yamato looks very dead. 6k HP only? That's gonna be rough. Okay, I'm not gonna make this turn, am I? So half speed is the smallest turning circle you can get, but yeah, I'm not gonna make this turn. Yamato! Oh, he's helping me! Nice! Wow, look! This was a nice turn. Wow, this was perfect. Absolutely perfect. I love you, Yamato. I love you, man. Oh, wait, what? He died. Oh, the midway dive bombers actually knocked him out. I'm surprised, because I did blind some planes. I'm blinding a lot of planes right now, so the CVs literally cannot see me, right? They might be flying all their planes up here, but because they are behind the island, they cannot see me. And luckily my midway was flying around in scouting plane mode, and I could see them. Defensive fire is pretty useful in a situation like this. Anyway, before we wreck these two CVs, I want to mention that the two other problems that I can foresee is that CVs don't really feel quite as fun as they do on the live server because of the two-step process of attacking, right? That's an intentional change and, well, it's just gonna feel a little bit worse. And the other thing that I'm a little worried about is carrier sniping. Because, you know, travel mode, you can just fly over enemy ships and just go straight for the CV. You don't have to, like, maneuver around the map. Also, Midway. Wait, what? I could citadel from there? What? I had no idea. I figured he was too angled. But, goodbye, Midway. And now it's, the other Midway left. Look, I've only lost, like, 4,000 HP through all of this, right? It just ain't happening, buddy, right? Your ship ain't strong enough to 1v1 me at this kind of a close range. I think cruisers are the new ships that will start eating carriers. Well, maybe. We'll see, right? These are still preliminary changes. Goodbye, Midway. Oh, never mind. Only 20,000 damage. We're gonna have to try again. And now, it's good night. Yep. And meanwhile, their planes just couldn't do all that much to me. Yeah, cruisers are pretty effective versus CVs. Of course, in live servers you're gonna get better CV players and all of that, but again, as things are, cruisers are pretty effective versus CVs. Okay, I did shoot down 43 planes after all. Actually, 50 planes. Right, 7 were shot down by the fighter. But I was in the epicenter of where all the enemy planes were. Honestly though, I am hopeful for this carrier rework. I am just a little worried that maybe it won't feel quite enough. I think from a gameplay perspective it looks pretty decent. Also, I'd like to point out 242,000 damage in a 6 versus 6. Maybe not the best game to judge things by, but I do want to point out that out of those 50 planes, 28 were fighters, so really we only shot down 22 real planes in a double CV match. So if it was a single CV, it would only be like 11. I'm just afraid that it won't feel good. Also, on another note, speed boost needs to be added back to CVs. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I would like to thank the patrons on Patreon. Thank you very much for your continued support, and I hope I'll see you guys next time.